Hi, it's Linda from Linda's Paperworks, and today I thought I'd talk a little bit about some ways that I have gotten books to use in my junk journals, some free ones and some that I got inexpensively. One way that you can get books is just to check your own house and see if you have any books that are not being used any longer. Things like even coloring books, adult coloring books are really good. Things like devotionals that you might not be using anymore, or older books that are no longer needed in your family. So that's one way to come up with some free books to use. Another way is to do what I do, and is check our library. They have a free bookshelf where you can choose books that people have left for other people to take, and you can take a book, leave a book, whatever. Other ways to find books is check garage sales, thrift stores, charity shops, estate sales, and sometimes you can even find them where there's a lot that you can buy the whole lot for, say, $5 or something like that. And then whatever you don't use, you can donate to the library for their book sale or something else like that. And that's another good place to find books, is at the library's book sale. So let's get into looking at the books that I brought today to show you what I found for cheap and for free. I know that some people may not like the idea of tearing up books to use in junk journals, but some books are in such bad shape already that there's not much to save. And other books are books that nobody's probably going to want because there are things like textbooks that are out of date, or like this one is a Danish phrase book for a trip. And I mean, it's very old, and probably some of these things are not even something you'd want to ask about if you were going to Denmark. And this book was one of them that I got, and it's got a nice color on it. The paper is smooth and nice. And even though it's kind of strange, I have used a few pages of it in making a journal, just using it as a background or behind something else. So that is one book I got there. This book I also found at the library, and it's Stamps and Stories, and it had a 1978 calendar page in it, which I thought that was kind of cool. I'm probably going to use that sometime. But this book has these pictures of stamps in here, and if you don't have access to postage stamps, this is a good thing to have, I think. And it's got interesting stories in it too, which I'm kind of hesitant to tear this one up, but I have cut out a few stamps out of it and used in some of my journals. So that's another one. This travel book is a Rick Steves Europe, and some of the things in it, it has some maps that are interesting because they're not too detailed. They're black and white, and just some text about various places. I think there may be some pictures in here. I've cut something out there. But this book is from 1997, so probably if you were going to Europe, you'd want something that was more current. So this book is not really something that would be useful to anybody to use as the book itself, unless they just enjoyed reading about how things were 10, 20 years ago. This book would be good for taking out the maps and even using, you know, a little bit of text behind a picture or something. And so that is another book I found at the library. On two different occasions, I found dictionaries at the library, and these are both older books too. 1994 and let's see here, 1986, and obviously this one is in pretty bad shape. But these are fun to have, to just tear out a piece of, like, definitions, but you might want to check what's on your definition before you put it in your junk journal, because sometimes you might have something that you don't really want to say. But anyway, that's another possibility as a dictionary. Then one day I went there, and there was like somebody had gotten rid of all of their Reader's Digest books, and I chose two that had covers that I thought I might like to use. And these are not the really old ones that have the elaborate book plate page. These are more recent. Let's see what this one is. Yes, 1982. But it's got some, like this, the Citadel is one of the stories in here, and it was copyrighted 1937. So it's got older stories in it, but was published in the 80s. And some of these books have pictures. So these would be good to use in a junk journal. Sometimes they have illustrations. These fly pages are also quite colorful and could be used. But mainly I got these to think about cutting off the back and using the covers as covers for a junk journal. So many times when I get a book, a free book at the library or wherever I buy a book to use in my junk journal, and I know I'm going to tear it up and use it, I have to read the book before I can bring myself to tear it up. Give it one more chance before I repurpose it. So that is the Reader's Digest. I had seen some really cute journals made out of little golden books, so I had been keeping an eye out for some little golden books, and I have some that were my brother's and mine, and I can't bring myself to tear those up, but I found this one at the library, and it's missing a page here, and it's kind of dirty and stuff, but it's a little book about a train. I got it, and I also got the one about colors, which I think is a cute little book. Cute illustrations. If you were doing a journal for somebody like me who would find this nostalgic, or for a child even, it would make a really cute little journal. So those were two free little golden books. These are kind of pricey if you try to get them online or something. These are newer. This one, let's see. This one is 1981. I say newer, that's not newer to a lot of people, but to me it's newer. When mine were more like the 50s and 60s. This one was another one I got at the library called Story Wagon, and it was a textbook that had been discontinued or discarded 1965, 1960, and it has some pretty cute illustrations in it too, and funny stories and things, and like the Little Red Hen, and it's in pretty good shape, and the pictures are nice and clear. So I thought that this yellow cover would make a pretty backing for a journal cover, and of course somebody wrote a name on it. I don't know if that is a person or if that was the library. The back is not too bad in shape, but you could cover it, you know, put paper on or fabric or whatever, or save out this part that is cute, just depending on what kind of journal you were doing. This is a book, Victoria Holt, that I picked up there, and I haven't read this one yet, but I'm thinking that I'm going to read it sometime. I have torn some pages out of it that I used in my beach journal. But when I did it, I put gesso on it, but I left it where it was light enough that I could still read the story behind there. I know, I'm so weird. But my grandmother used to tell me that books are our friends, protect them. So actually what she said was, books are good friends, protect them. And it's really hard to overcome that and think about tearing them up, but for a greater good of giving them a new life. But this one I'm thinking I'm going to use to make a blue and white journal, and I'm going to use this cover, and I'll make it with an open spine. So this won't be used, but just the cover and the back, the front cover and the back cover, and then put lace or paper or whatever over the top of it. This book was another one I found at the library. It's one volume of an encyclopedia, and it was being used in a school. I don't know if it was Jefferson Elementary or not, but that's where it came from. He was doing an art book here in this encyclopedia. So the first few pages of it has his assignments. This is the assignment and what he did. And he got a congratulations and projects. Anyway, this goes on for a few pages, and then the rest of the book is the encyclopedia with, I took a page out there. It's R and railroads, radiation, radar. I didn't have a choice on which encyclopedia I got. It was the only one there. But since it was already a work in progress for something else, I don't feel bad about using pages out of this in my journal. And it has some black and white pictures and some color illustrations. I think there's some maps in here. Talking about carpeting, I don't know how that would work in a junk journal, but anyway. For free. I like to think of it as clip art, or clip art or scrapbooking paper, because that generally comes in a pad. And so this is a way to use this and make something out of it that's worthwhile. This book was Texas Environmental Guide. It was, again, a textbook for Material Learning Center. Discontinued it because it was from 1978. I liked it because it has kind of a matte paper, and it has some of these charts and maps of Texas, which I like because I'm a Texan. Some illustrations. I haven't used anything out of this yet, I don't think, but I can see possibilities for this. Like that right there would be really pretty to put on a cover. Just tear around it and maybe ink the edges. Use it on a page or a cover, whatever. Snakes I can do without. If anybody wants the snakes, let me know. Anyway, that's what that book was about. I have piano music from when I took lessons when I was a girl. And once again, I can't bring myself to tear those books up. So I've been looking for something to use some music in my journals. And I found this one at the library, so I brought it home. It's kind of too big and kind of too simple, but it was music, and it was a start. So, oh, and it has these pages in the back with this, what do you call that? The staff for writing your music, writing your own music. And whoever this child was writing some music there. In 1977. So that's just some of the books that I've picked up at the library. Now, other places that I have gotten books include a resale store in Mena, Arkansas, where we like to go and enjoy the mountains, which are as close as mountains are to Texas in this area. And these two books, I didn't get these at the same time. This one I got recently. We were just up there, and it was $1 for lace designs, and there's very little text in this book at the very beginning. And see, this one was deleted from the Polk County Library in Mena. It has the publisher's note at the beginning, and that's all. Then it starts showing these lace designs. And I just think some of these would be really pretty to put in a journal. I think they're beautiful. And you'd have to decide which side of the page you wanted to use, but wouldn't that be pretty? Just make a page out of that. I just think that'd be gorgeous. And then this book was a calligraphy book that I found there, and it was 50 cents. And it has examples of how to draw the letters. But I thought this would make interesting pages in a junk journal. And then it has some of these pages like this that are different examples of different kinds of type, different script. There's several of those pages in here. There's another one. Some of them are really modern looking, like that to me looks really modern. This one, that looks like it should go in a fall journal. And I think that one is interesting. I just thought there would be a lot of use for this. These two books came from the Salvation Army. Not the same store. This one was from here at home. It has pages with quotes and a word. And I thought it would be useful to use some of those words. I mean, not all of them are things that you like. Goals, that might be something you want to use in a planner kind of book. Hard work, determination, responsibility, politeness, charity. And the quotes are, you know, not everything in here would be useful, but I thought it was worth. I think I paid $1 for that. I think the books The children's books at our Salvation Army, I believe, are $1, no matter whether they're hardbound or softbound. So for $1, I thought it was worth it. And then this one I got at the Salvation Army in Mena a while back. It was originally $21.99, and I think I paid a dime for it. They were having a half-price sale. It might have been a little more than that. It might have been 50 cents or $1, but it wasn't any more than that. I even thought this might be interesting to put on the edge of the page. Let's see, recently, I'm going up in price. This was at our Goodwill, and I had been looking for flashcards. I wanted them, so I went ahead and bought the flashcards, math flashcards. Let's see, does it have, it's just addition, grades 2 through 6. So I liked that. I was glad I found those. That's not a book, but it was something I got at the Goodwill store. These books are ones I got at another local Goodwill store. And I think I paid 25 cents a piece for these two each. The hardback children's books. This is another library discard. And it has a number of stories in it. And again, the paper in this is not real shiny. It's a little bit of a sheen, I guess you might call it, but not shiny. And so it's good for junk journaling. I thought that little illustration would be cute. I can do without the snakes, but you know, hey, I guess snakes have got to live too. I found out that this library is in Utah. I don't know how it got to our area, but it did. Then this book is one like I bought for my nephew when he was a baby in the 70s. And I thought that the illustrations in it then, I thought they were really sweet. Like, look at this. Isn't that the sweetest little girl, her face? So I was tickled to get this book. And yes, I have read it already, all the way through. Anyway, I have my Mother Goose book. 300 writing prompts. And it's got this nice lined paper in here. What is your favorite way to spend a lazy day? Which I think this is cool for the prompts as well as the lines in the paper. So I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to use this, but I was glad to get it because the paper is nice. It's a little bit turned up on that corner, but it's aged. Remember a memorable haircut or hairstyle you have had, given, or witnessed. Anyway, that is that book. The last category here is going to be some items that I got at an estate sale recently this year. And we'll start with the music, I guess. So, I've been wanting music, and this was my chance. I don't remember exactly how much I paid for some of these. These have music pages. Easy Engelman album for the piano. This one is waltzes. I think I got this one at a different estate sale. But if I can bring myself to tear them apart, I will have lots of choices for using in my junk journals. Then these were at that estate sale. I think the sheet music was $2 a piece. Yes, but I thought this was really beautiful. I don't know if I can bring myself to tear it up. And then this one is Sylvia. Mainly I got it for the cover. I thought this was a pretty picture on there. And that type is pretty too. And then this one is Moon Love. This paper is a little thicker there. 50 cents each, postage paid. What could you get for that now? You can even pay the postage for that. Oh, you're about Glenn Miller. And then this is my favorite. It says Hello Bluebird. And the sky and the bluebird there. But it's really in bad shape. I mean, I might have to glue it down to something to keep that from cracking off of there. And I don't think this is the whole book. I mean, it should have another page, but it doesn't. I bought it because of the bluebird, I think, and because of the charming way it looks, the sky, and it looks like the 40s maybe, or see if it has a copyright. Oh, I'm gonna have to translate the MCMXXVI 1926. So it is very old. And then this book, lots of the ladies on YouTube who make journals use old ledger paper, and I've been looking at that and thinking, oh, how neat that is. And this is not that old. I mean, it's not like from the 1800s or anything like that. It's from 1954, starting 1954. And the back is off, and there is no back page. But this guy was keeping track of gas for car, 1954. He paid $3, $4, $3. And let's see, he was filling up every 2 or 3 days, but $1 there. I don't know if he was filling up. Maybe he wasn't filling up. Maybe he was just getting some gas to carry him over. Anyway, I thought it's interesting. It's not particularly beautiful handwriting or anything, but this is Dr. Car Repairs. I don't know if I got all this in here or not. Car Repairs over here. Dr. Wynn, City Drug Medicine, $7.20. Tractor Operation for $54. Planner Repair. Freight. Sold a cow, $165. Reminds me of the kind of things that Daddy kept. Feed for the chickens. 55. Anyway, it goes on. He filled the book up pretty much with his bookkeeping. I think I paid $2 for this. I think it was originally marked $4, and it was half price today. So I think that's what it was. And this is a Reader's Digest book. It was marked $15 at the estate sale, and so I ended up paying $7.50 for this book. But I told myself, okay, this is clip art, and there's a lot of it in here, and some of it I would never use, like that. But, and maybe not the bird heads, I don't know. But there's a lot of them that are good examples of birds. A lot of information in here. There's a whole page of flying birds. There's a big bird, owl. Oh, and I liked this, the eggs. I thought that was cool. A whole bunch of those. Little birds on the nest. Here's some smaller birds. Those are the kind that I would be interested in fussy cutting out the birds to use in a cluster or something in a junk journal. And fussy cutting just means cutting out close to the edge of the birds. Anyway, that is the books I have, or some of the kinds of books that I've found either for free at the library or for a low price at a resale store or charity shop or an estate sale. And it's the kind of thing that I'm now keeping my eye out for when I go to some of these places to see if there's anything that I want to include in my junk journals. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this was enlightening or helpful, or at least interesting to know what's out there that and ways to find books to use. And I hope to see you next time. Bye.